Evening, everyone. Sorry. Today I wanted to talk about ear stretching. It's not normally something that I would talk about in association with oils, but if you've watched any of our videos or you've even heard other people talk about them, you'll know that we can use oils for absolutely everything in life. I recently went up another size. I'm now at 10 ml, which is like 00G or something if you're in America. And basically, I'm just wanting to go through the routine that I take for looking after them. Now I'm going back into the healing process. They had healed at 8, and that's when I decided to go up. So I just wanted to talk about what I did to prepare my ears using oils, what I used during stretching, and what I'm now using after. So before we start, I'm just gonna clean my hands with this. This is Thieves Hand Purifier. It doesn't need any water or anything. You literally just put a little bit on and rub it in. Obviously it's Thieves, so we all know the amazingness of Thieves. If you don't, Google it. This stuff just dries almost instantaneously. I'm just going to wait until it has dried. What this does is it basically cleans our hands really well. It kills everything that's on them, which means that that's a really good thing to do before we touch any open wounds in our body, which of course stretched ears are open. So I shall start by taking them out. You'll also be able to see on one of my ears, yeah, this one, I've got like a tiny little stretcher in there. I'm just stretching both my second holes out, but doing them one at a time. I bought some earrings the other day, just normal studs, and tried to sleep in them. And if you're used to having stretched ears, you'll know like double flares or even my spirals, like you just don't feel them when you sleep. So trying to sleep in a normal pair of studs was just a nightmare. So I thought if I at least just stretch my second one to like 2 or 3, then I can sleep in some really nice tunnels. So anyway, completely off topic there, but that was what that was about. So I'm just going to take you through what I use. Beforehand, so kind of like I knew I wanted to go up. I knew I wasn't done at 8. I know I'm also not done at 10. So when I knew I was getting ready to stretch, like I moisturise my face normally with coconut oil, and I put this on my ears probably, I don't know, maybe like 2-3 times a week, just to add some extra moisture into the area, because of course there's so much dead skin cells, so many dead skin cells in the holes, which is pretty disgusting. So they need cleaning anyway. So whilst they're out, I might as well put some coconut oil on. This is my nice big tub of coconut oil. It's just, you can find it in any grocery store. I use unrefined, organic, extra virgin coconut oil, and you'll notice it's in a solid form. This is basically one of the most used things in our house. We use it for everything from cooking to making lotions and creams to sorting out cavities in our teeth, and it's called oil pulling. Google it, it's amazing. Anyway, so we use it for lots of different things, and it's going to be the base of most of the things that I talk about today. So in preparing to stretch our ears, we know, like I'm not going to go through the whole process, just trying to think if you're watching this video, you kind of already have stretched ears, or you've at least looked into it, so I don't need to tell you the process of it. This is more about kind of preparing them and looking after them, keeping them healthy. So coconut oil is a really good thing to use to moisturise. Once you can start getting your fingers through the holes, it's really good to be able to really kind of work the coconut oil in there, leave it to sit for a bit. It's going to help the ear be moisturised, which then when you're stretching means it's less likely to kind of tear more. If you've got really dry ears, then they're going to crack as soon as you try to stretch them, whereas if they're well lubricated, they should just start to open nicely. It's kind of the easiest way to describe it. So yeah, kind of maybe 2 weeks before I decided, right, I'm going to get the jewellery to be able to go up, I started using coconut oil every other day. This, I just felt it needed, not that they were dry, but I just thought if I'm going to give my ears the best chance, I really don't want to screw this up, let's keep them well hydrated. So coconut oil was used every other day. Then when it was a week to go, I started adding a drop of lavender. This wasn't really for any particular reason. I actually really don't like lavender, the smell of it. Anyway, so it was kind of a big thing for me to start using it, especially on my ears, which are quite close to the nose. But I just felt it really helps with healing, and I just kind of thought if I'm stretching, hey, let's at least start with lavender. So what I did was literally just got a little bit of coconut oil in my palm, added a drop of lavender, mixed it in, rubbed it in, Bob's your uncle, done. Easy. During stretching, I always stretch with coconut oil as well. I don't do it when I'm in the shower. I do it immediately after the shower. I just find with the water, especially I like the shower really hot, and I just find when I did do it under the water, I just felt like I was giving it a bit too much, like pushing just a bit too hard, because I couldn't feel it quite as much. So for me, I always do it immediately after my shower, and I haven't got them with me, but I just use my stainless steel tapers and, stretching the way you're supposed to stretch. So the earrings are in. Next step, as you probably are aware if you have already stretched your ears, the first maybe day and a half afterwards, it's tender. I'm not going to say painful, because if it's ever painful, you're doing something wrong, which hopefully you've heard loads of times. But it is tender, and like I sleep on my front, and so I the reason I'm doing this one at a time is also so I can sleep on the other side while this one's feeling tender. And basically for the first kind of 5 days, I don't really touch the jewellery. I don't play with it or twist it or anything. I just add my coconut oil and my lavender, just massage it around as much as I can, keeping the jewellery in. When we get to kind of 2 weeks in, regardless of the size of the holes, I then do take the jewellery out, give them a good clean. They're going to need it at that point. And also I then, the very first kind of cleaning, washing, after I've stretched, I always add thieves, which I kind of spoke about with my purifier. I always add thieves to my coconut oil. Generally, I don't think I've ever had an actual infection on any of my stretches, or even any of my piercings anywhere. But I just find thieves gives me just that extra little bit of protection against anything that might. Obviously, like I say, it is an open wound. Things can get in there. When my hair's down, there's dirty hair next to it. There's, if I sleep on it, I don't know, I just feel better knowing that I'm protecting myself as much as I can. Now, thieves is what we call a hot oil. If you don't know what a hot oil is, please go to allenergydrop.com and just type in hot oils in the search bar. It basically means you need to dilute it, and by diluting it means you need to mix it with a carrier oil. And here again comes our trusty coconut oil. Now, I actually made up some healing salve for a friend of mine who recently had a piercing. I shan't tell you where, and it did go a bit funky, and we basically got rid of it with a mixture of coconut oil, thieves and lavender, and she's now just using it with lavender and coconut oil, and it's all sorted and it's fine. It's just a case of keeping everything clean, and I just find thieves is a really good way of doing that. So yeah, kind of the first wash, the first moisturising afterwards, lubricating afterwards, I always include thieves. Then kind of I'm back now to every other day. I'm now about 2 weeks post stretch on my big ones. So we're now kind of on to, I'd say my protocol lasts about a month, and then I just go back to my coconut oil by itself unless I've got any issues. So from 2 weeks onwards, I use a combination of Melrose and lavender. I alternate them each time I use them. So I'm still moisturising every other day. So one time it will be with lavender, 2 days later it will be with Melrose, 2 days later lavender, 2 days Melrose. And I do that literally until my month is up. The reason I use Melrose is because it's just really great for dry skin, for anything that's going on the skin. And so I just find it helps to mix these things up. And as I've already said, I really can't stand lavender. So Melrose is a really good alternative as well. And it's just an amazing oil that I love, and we already have it made up in different stuff, so it doesn't take too long just to sort it out. I have then got just one more thing to show you, which is a lip balm. This one's actually the cinnamon one, which isn't the one I wanted. I've picked up the wrong one, but it also comes in lavender. Now, if you don't want to faff around with your coconut oil and making your own, this is a really easy, quick way of applying lavender onto, well, any area of the body. Each member of our house has their own, and I have 3 or so for different areas of my body, and they're all labelled. One of my children has something going on with something on her eye, and we're putting lavender lip balm on that to keep it well moisturised and well hydrated, and to sort it out basically, because I don't want to be putting undiluted lavender right on the eyelid. So this is a really easy and contained way. What you might not know about coconut oil is it is in a solid form when it's cold, and as soon as it starts getting warm it turns to a liquid, and so when it's around the eye that can just get really messy. So the lip balms, whilst they're called lip balms, are just really useful for lots of different things. So in terms of ear stretching, again, they're really good if you don't want to get messy, which it isn't always, but it can be. It's just a really handy way. Do make sure you label it as ears. You don't want to be using a lip balm on your ears and then using it on your lips. Like, I don't think I really need to explain that, but yeah, just an FYI, if you don't want to faff around, then you could just get the lavender lip balm, and that works in exactly the same way. Keeps things lubricated, hydrated, and just really nice. So basically that's the end of this video. If you have any other questions about using oils for stretching, then please just comment away, or email me at allinadrop@gmail.com. I really like to hear from you guys. And of course, if there's any other videos that you want to see, any more information that you want, then please do just get in touch. I hope you found this interesting and informative, and happy stretching.